Hey guys, welcome to this week's Shooting Straight Wrestling Podcast. I'm Brian Brown. As you can see, we're doing things a little different. We haven't been able to post as much lately due to lives just in general. My tag team partner, Red Scorpion, Mike Martinez, is going through some personal stuff, just moving, nothing too major, but it's kind of put him out of action for a couple weeks, and I kind of promised myself that we would definitely be doing more content, more consistent content, and to add to the channel. I mean, that's the least you guys deserve. We appreciate all the subscriptions, all the subscribers, all the views, everything you guys do. We greatly appreciate it. So we're going to make that effort to put out the content every week. You might get some shows like this that are kind of behind the scenes here at Desert Dream Studios. You can kind of see what the studio looks like without all the fancy bells and whistles. We're just going to kind of do a status, a weekly status this week of wrestling, the wrestling world, just kind of where it's at. Throw some news and rumors in there and just kind of discuss the different things that's going on. I wanted to jump in. We hadn't really talked much about it with the lack of podcasts, but WrestleMania. I posted my predictions and I was so far wrong, it's not even funny. I got some right, but for the most part, I think I was a batting average of about 250. Wasn't right at all. Highlights for me on the WrestleMania was Owens and Jericho. Definitely stole the show. I really enjoyed that match and the effort that those two put in there. Story from the beginning all the way through was great. It added a lot to the match, and it definitely was the highlight of the show for me. Then we got the Hardys making their return. That was great. I had heard rumors that they might show up on Monday. The Monday after is always the big day for that kind of stuff. So, them to show up on the show was definitely huge. We got some news and rumors on them as well coming up after, we go through the thoughts. Shane and AJ, which I was really surprised at. Turned out to be a good match. I knew Shane would put out all the effort that he possibly could and did, and it turned out to be an excellent match. I would have rather have seen AJ in there with somebody a little more caliber. I think he should be competing in the main events for the titles and that type of stuff. Hopefully this was a one and done. Next year he'll have a decent storyline. He is the highlight of SmackDown. He's probably the best performer on the roster right now overall. And so I'd like to see him in a bigger place next year. Speaking of doing the titles, Orton Wyatt, I thought that match was horrible. And nothing to do with their performances. I think it was booked wrong. I think it was just carried out wrong. All the images from the projector, I didn't get it. I don't know how it played out actually there live. It seemed weird. Match didn't work out. And, I wasn't thrilled about it. Goldberg versus Lesnar. And I know I'm skipping some matches. I'm just kind of going the highlights and the thoughts that I have on some of them. Goldberg Lesnar was what it was. I was surprised it lasted more than 2 minutes or two moves. Goldberg, when he first came back, I was kind of pumped up about it. He beat Lesnar with the spear, jackhammer, boom, match is over. I was okay with that one, but then when he fought Owens for the title, and it was the same thing, and you could see how gassed he got just walking to the ring, it really made me think that this guy just doesn't have the endurance to do it. And so, he came in there, he did what he had to do. The match was booked the way it should have been booked. I think it was 5 or 6 minutes. Suplex Cities got all their moves in, Spot Fest, I guess you could call it. They got all their spots in. And it was what it was, and it was a decent match. Lesnar walks away with the title, which I liked. I didn't like the fact that, in the continued weeks, he's just gone. He's written off story, and there's no explanation for it. I think you need to, maybe after WrestleMania, sit down, do some interviews, and then put up an interview a week just to keep the title and the title holder current and give them something to do at least. Let's see. Austin Aries, that match for the Cruiserweight title, I thought it was great. I liked the way they did it. I thought Austin Aries would take it, but he ended up losing. I think that extends the storyline out, which is contradictory to what I said on my predictions, but it worked out. And, the way he went after the orbital eye socket of Austin Aries was cool because it kind of showed that he had to resort to tactics just to pull out the win. So I thought that was kind of cool. And that storyline goes. So for me, that was my highlights of WrestleMania. Like I said, I know I missed a couple matches in there, but those are the ones that stand out. I'm trying to keep this quick and on point for you guys. So then let's go to the Superstar Shakeup and my thoughts on that. I think Raw definitely got some good talent, but I don't think they're going to be utilizing the talent as much as SmackDown. So you got The Miz and Maurice, which I think they did great the last year on SmackDown. I think they were a highlight, rejuvenated their careers, at least The Miz's career, and established Maurice's career doing what she does. And thought they were best utilized. They had the Talking Smack segment afterwards, which really helped The Miz evolve his character. And that back and forth between him and Daniel Bryan were great. He's not going to get that on Raw, and I'm just afraid of him getting lost in the shuffle on Raw and just being a placeholder for the IC title, or just like what he was before he went to SmackDown. Dean Ambrose is another one. With all the push talent on Raw, I get worried that he'll get moved in the shuffle or lost in the shuffle. But on the same instance, he wasn't really doing much on SmackDown. So it's a fresh start for him. Hopefully they can do something with it. And then you had, trying to think of who else you had to go over. You had some other good talents go over. Drawing a blank, guys. This is live, so I don't know, anything can happen. But for the most part, I think, Alexa Bliss, again, I was going to say I'm afraid she'd get lost in the fold because they have a lot of strong talent on the Raw as far as the women division. But she just won the #1 contendership last night, so we'll see where they go with that. I definitely think she's better on the mic than she is on the in the ring, so it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully they can put her with Sasha or with Bayley and improve her in-ring work and get her some more experience, because she definitely has a long career ahead of her. On the SmackDown side, of course, you had Nakamura debut the week before, and then you go back to Raw, you also had Dash Wilder and Dawson, the Revival debut, and they're one of my favorite tag teams ever. Like, I love those guys. Came out strong, debuted against keep drawing a blank, the New Day, and did the storyline where they break Kofi's ankle. Came out the next week where we broke Kofi's ankle, tribute to Greg Valentine back in the day when he broke Wahoo's arm, I believe, or neck. I broke Wahoo's neck. I think had a class that was classic early 80s gimmicks and stuff. So I thought that was cool. Definitely look for them. I got some news and rumors on them as well, but look for them. They're in probably the best tag team division on the Raw brand right now. I thought they might be more utilized on SmackDown, but I think you're going to get some great matches, some great rivalries with the Raw brand. So now back to SmackDown. Nakamura debuted. Loved strong style. Thought he debuted strong. Crowd went crazy for it. As far as the shakeup goes, I like Kevin Owens over there. I like pretty much everything that they got. Even, I'll say, the Shining Stars. I like it. They got a new coat of paint. They're not selling timeshares anymore. They're doing their thing. I always thought that if you're going to stick with this Puerto Rico gimmick, you should talk about the wrestling history in Puerto Rico, how tough they were, the bloody matches, and kind of build them up as as Puerto Rican wrestlers with that heritage. I thought that's the way they should have went instead of timeshares, but that's just me. Sami Zayn showed up, which I didn't really agree with. I think they need to keep Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn apart. I guess you could still do it technically on the SmackDown brand, just kind of distance them. But it looks to me like, from what I've seen, it almost looks like the U.S. title is going to be that main title on SmackDown, because you had AJ, Sammy, and Baron Corbin compete for the #1 contendership of it. And meanwhile, Randy Orton just went against Luke Harper for the world title, which I thought was weird. Bray Wyatt also went to Raw. Didn't bring that up. I don't know how I like that. I liked him on SmackDown a lot. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan didn't go with him, so I don't know what that does for them on the SmackDown brand, but we'll see what happens. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt is awful appealing. I think that has some legs. The Demon versus Bray Wyatt. I think you can get some great matches out of that. We'll see what happens with the title and with Randy Orton. But I don't know where they go if they're having such a competitiveness for the U.S. title, where that goes for the world title. We'll just have to see. I don't know if they really thought about that and booked it out. Charlotte also debuted on SmackDown, which I think is a big, big win for SmackDown. It really bolsters that women's division. And Tamina, I think that's Tamina, also debuted. So that's really cool. Or re-debuted. I don't know where she was. She was out with an injury, so I don't know if she got drafted, but made her SmackDown brand debut, we can say it. And kind of a swerve there with Shane McMahon, second generation, and a Hall of Famer father. But it worked out good. I've always thought big things for her. I thought she would be great as almost like a female Diesel bodyguard type of gimmick. And, just go in there. They need a monster in that women's division on SmackDown. She can be the monster, just laying people out. And I think you can expect big things for her. I really liked it when it was her and AJ Lee. I thought that it was like the female version of Shawn Michaels and Diesel. I thought they could have done some things with there, but, that went the way it went. So, can't always get what you want, as they say. So, but I think definitely SmackDown ends up on the better half as far as talent goes. We all know Raw's the flagship show. Raw's always going to be what it is. So I think, what was it, back in the 2000s when they did the Brown split, late 2000s, back when they did the brand split, they called them the SmackDown 8, I believe, where it was like Eddie Guerrero, the wrestler who shall not be named, Chris Benoit. They had all the talent, Kurt Angle, and they had all these great talent. Those guys really made the show, but yet Raw still always got the attention. Raw still always got the publicity. But those 8 guys made SmackDown so great. And I think you do have a SmackDown 8 again. If you got Owens, AJ Styles, Nakamura, Sami Zayn. You just go down that. It's totally set up for those guys to steal the show, and I think they possibly could. And I've enjoyed SmackDown overall. I like that it's 2 hours instead of 3, so I think it's set up with the talent that they have that they might be able to shine the light on the SmackDown brand for once and kind of draw attention to themselves. Let's see. I really like the Braun Strowman push. No pun intended, as a couple weeks ago he pushed over an ambulance. Came out strong. I just wish with the Roman Reigns angle they would keep Roman off of TV for at least, go months. Like, remember those old angles in the 80s where Hulk Hogan would get squashed by earthquake or whatever it may be, and King Kong Bundy, his ribs would be damaged, and he would be gone for 3 or 4 months, and kids would send in letters, please, Hogan, we miss you, we love you. And I was one of those goofy kids who thought about sending in cards, get well cards to Hulk Hogan, because I totally bought into it. But that's how people do buy into it. You keep them off of TV, you milk the injuries, do behind the scenes at the doctors, whatever you need to do. And I think that's what they should. But with the pay-per-view coming in 2 to 3 weeks, they don't have the time, and I'm just not going to buy that the Superman Roman Reigns comes back after those injuries, finding well, that quick. So it kind of, I don't know, that's the problem with wrestling these days. The believability is kind of gone. And speaking of that, that's funny is there was actually an online petition. I forget what petition site it was from, but it was to fire Braun Strowman because he had gone too far and hurt Roman Reigns, and that should not be accepted in the workplace, which I thought was hilarious. So there is still some unjaded fans out there that believe this, and God bless their hearts, and hopefully they don't find out that the truth here anytime soon. They can keep believing, because it's still real to me. Damn it, it's still real to me. So with that going, I like the Braun Strowman push. I really enjoy. He reminds me a lot of Big John Studd, and that type of a wrestler. Big Show did a huge angle with him last night. The ring broke, and it was chaos and all sorts of craziness, which I thought was really cool. And we'll just kind of bleed into news and rumors right now. That was actually on my news and rumors thing, is Braun Strowman went to Twitter and thanked the Big Show and said, basically it was the night of his life. And if you really think about it, that's one of the things that's, in the long run, that will probably make Braun Strowman's career. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest jump on YouTube or watch Raw for the week and check it out, because it was a pretty cool angle. News and rumors. The word I'm hearing is we're gonna have a WWE return, a diva return, and or a woman. She was a WWE diva. Maria and her husband Mike Bennett are in negotiations or have already signed to go on the SmackDown brand. If you follow wrestling, you've seen both of them on TNA not too long ago. They let their contracts run out, like TNA did a lot of those wrestlers, and it just, they didn't renew. And so they were free agents. I really like that combo a lot. I followed them through when they were in Ring of Honor with the Kingdom. I really enjoyed the product they were putting out. Maria did some of her best work in Ring of Honor. Michael Bennett, I think, is a superstar. Surprised they're not going to go to NXT with how desperate they need talent down there right now. And a guy like Michael Bennett would fit in perfect down there. Maria would fit in, would be an added body for that women's division there that they so desperately need. But from what I'm hearing, they're going to go to SmackDown, which is a great fit for them. Another great talent for SmackDown 8. That's let's see. Braun Strowman thanks to Big Show. We already talked about it. WWE is working on getting the broken gimmick trademark back from TNA. There was a lot of confusion and a lot of legal matters when the Hardys left TNA. They went to Ring of Honor, and TNA is claiming that, or Impact Wrestling, Impact Wrestling is claiming that they own the broken gimmick, which is, I don't know, like you get the legal mumbo jumbo and all that. It just, you look at what the Hardys did for TNA at the time, and, they put their own money into these vignettes and all these, all these videos that they did. And it's just stupid that they would even think that they owned it, but WWE is working on getting that back. I like it because you could do a whole start from the beginning with the broken gimmick, and have Matt Hardy lose the tag titles or whatever it may be, and then begin the broken gimmick again, and then that explains it, introduces it fresh to the WWE universe. Because there's a lot of fans who aren't as smart, I guess, if that's the word. Hate to use that word for that, but aren't as on the behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, as like I said, that change.org petition going around, so it'd be a good way to introduce it. And obviously that gimmick's a winner, so they're working on getting that back. Shelton Benjamin commented on his status. As you know, he was scheduled to come to SmackDown, I believe, and then he had he had ACL tear or something big. He had a major injury that he was working through and didn't realize how bad it was, and he ended up not coming to SmackDown. But he's saying that he's not under any contract. He's ready to come back, but since they discovered that during his physical, he never signed a contract, so it's not guaranteed he'll be back with WWE. We just stay tuned on that one and see what happens. Finn Balor update. He sustained a concussion thanks to Jinder Mahal's stiff forearm a couple weeks ago on Raw. He's cleared as last night he wrestled Kurt Hawkins. Had a good match. So obviously he's cleared to come back. I know a lot of people were a little irritated to having him just come back from an injury and get injured again. You know, and I see a lot of people talking about how he's injury prone and whatnot. He's not. You know, these are just freak accidents that have happened, and it is what it is. You know, obviously he's not because he's back. Dash Wilder of the Revival, speaking of them, broken jaw at a live event. It was Nakamura teaming up with somebody. I'm sorry, another brain fart here. Somebody, and he suffered a broken jaw, had it wired yesterday, I believe, and will be out about 8 weeks. Hopefully that doesn't hurt the Revival's push. Maybe, you know, they're good on the mics, they're good all around. You know, we can figure something out at least. Scott Dawson can do the talking and just figure out. I think their push is still good. Would love to see them in the club. I don't know, because they're both kind of hillish. There's just so many matches. Them and the Hardys would be phenomenal. There's just so many great matches that can go that way. Oh, another thing is the Superstar Shake-Up SmackDown. The New Day goes over to SmackDown in a couple weeks. I think that's good for their tag division. I think they're going to have a good, strong tag team division. Not as strong as Raw, but pretty decent. And then also Lana and Rusev, different promos. They're both going to SmackDown, but it looks like they might be separated, which I don't think is a good idea. I don't know if they want to push Lana as a wrestler or as a valet, but you know, I think Rusev loses something without Lana, so it's kind of up in the air. But overall, I think it's a pretty good state of wrestling. I think right now this is usually first month after WrestleMania is good, and you start getting into your slowdown period, your hangover period, if you will. So we'll see just how it goes. Hopefully they can keep up momentum. You know, they can keep putting out decent content. Last year I think they did a great job with it. And like I said, I think SmackDown's the brand to watch. I think they're going to do some great things on that brand. So with that said, that's your wrestling report for this week. The week of, what is week of the 17th? Whatever week this is, the third week of April. You know, we appreciate you guys watching. Please sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Always looking to talk. We'll be back with the regular Shooting Straight Wrestling podcast with all the bells and whistles, so you guys don't have to see all the gear in the back and whatnot. But we definitely will be back, and we appreciate you guys hanging in there. Shout out to the Red Scorpion, Mike Martinez. And also, we posted a video earlier, but we want to give a rest in peace to Rosie Anoa'i, Roman Reigns' brother. He passed away today at the age of 47. He was a former WWE Tag Team Champ. Definitely will be missed. And like I said, we had commented on that in a previous video. But again, appreciate everyone watching, and we love you, and thank you. We'll see you. Peace.